I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Today we are going to start our new chapter, and this chapter is of class 6, and the name of the chapter is New Empires and Kingdoms. New Empires and Kingdoms. In the previous chapter we discussed about Mauryan Empire and the developments made in that time period and after that. So first of all, as the chapter name is telling, New Empires and Kingdom, first of all, we must be aware about the meanings of empire and kingdom. So first of all, if we talk about empire, empire is an area where an emperor rules. And kingdom is an area where a king rules. So these both are the same things. Here the emperor rules and here the king rules. But what is the main difference? That is, the size of the area of empire is much more than the kingdom. So these areas, these empires are the areas which are larger than kingdoms. So this is our timeline. In the video of Bridge Course of History, we discussed about this timeline. Earlier the time used to go backward. And I told you that the Mauryan Empire, its time period was 321 BCE to 185 BCE. What is the meaning of BCE? BCE means before the common era. Before the birth of Jesus Christ and before the birth of before common era. So before 0, the time was going backward. Now it's 2022. If we were in this time period, so what happened? So what would happen at that time? After 2022, they would have been 2021. Okay, so this is the difference. If we talk about here, after 0, mean after the birth of Jesus Christ, we will use CE or AD with that. Okay, Anno Domini or common era. And if we talk about before 0, we will mention it with BC or BCE. BC means before the birth of Jesus Christ, and BCE means before the common era. Yes, I told you that the Mauryan Empire ruled from 321 BCE to 185 BCE. Yes, in previous chapter we discussed about Mauryan Empire and the developments which were made in that time period. So in 185 BCE, or we can say around 200 BCE, the Mauryan Empire disintegrated. So after that, you will see around 200 BCE to 320 CE. Here the time is going backward, like 185, then 184, 183, 182, next year 181, next year 180. Like this. If we follow this, we will reach 0. And after 0, the time was going forward. So after 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this, from 0 to 320 CE. So we can say around 200 BCE to 320 CE, mean around 500 years. This time period was known as Black Period, because at that time no such big ruler ruled in our country. Now, no big ruler ruled our country, and because of the foreign invaders, and they attacked here. If we talk about after this time period, after 320, so 320 CE to 550 CE, this time period is known as the golden period of Indian history. And in this time period, mainly two empires, or we can say so many empires, they emerged in our country, in North India as well and in South India as well. So in North India, Gupta Empire flourished, and in South India, Pallavas, Chalukyas, they ruled in South India. And this time period was called, it means from century 4 to 6. So 4 to 6th century, around 320 to 550 CE, this time period of medieval history is known as golden period of Indian history. I hope till now this is clear to you all. So write one question. I just want to ask. Write one question. The Mauryan Empire ruled for how many years? The Mauryan Empire ruled for how many years? Second question is, mention the time period which was called the golden period of Indian history. These are the two questions. You are to write their answers in your classwork notebook. Now, I told you right now, in previous chapter we discussed about Mauryan Empire. Yes, and the developments made in that time period. Now, what will we read in this chapter? So, we will read about, we will learn about the after Mauryan Empire. So, I told you right now that after Mauryan Empire, two empires were there which were flourished, which were established. Yes, so in North India, if we talk about North India, this is our country. Yes, so in North India, Gupta Empire was flourished, got established, and in South, Pallavas, Chalukyas, Cheras, and Palas, they established their rule here. Okay, we will study about the time period after Mauryan Empire. So first of all, I told you the time period which was known as the golden age of Indian history, or the golden period of Indian history. It was this time period. In this time period, Gupta Empire ruled there in North India, and at that time Pallavas, Chalukyas, Palas, and Cheras, they ruled in South India. So Samudragupta, ruler Samudragupta was the best, or we can say the most famous ruler of Gupta Empire. And I told you that this time period, when Gupta Empire ruled here, this time period, it's known as Golden Age. And from Chalukyas, or from Southern Empire, from their empire Pulkeshin II, he was the best ruler. He did not rule for that much long time period, but still he was famous among the rulers in South India who were ruling. Now, if you will be thinking how we come to know about Pulkeshin II, about Samudragupta, about Golden Age, even we can find out about Samudragupta when he was found while playing the veena. Veena is a musical instrument, where he was found playing veena on the coins. So how can we get to know about that? Obviously some inscriptions, some books, some coins, some things were there, will be there now. So that's why would have been at that time. That's why we have got information about them. So which are the sources by which we come to know about this time period, about their empires? So these sources are, first of all, inscriptions. What is inscription? Inscription means the things which are inscribed, which are written on a hard surface, is called inscription. And these inscriptions are also known as prashasti. Prashasti or inscription, they both are same. Okay, so if we call prashasti, it will be singular. If we say prashastis, so these will be plural. So inscription, in these inscriptions, or in these prashastis, we will discuss about two person, or we will get to know by giving some examples that I will tell you later on. Then coins, there we found coins also. How? What the things can be found, or what the things could be found at that time by getting the coins. So with these coins, we got to know about the economy of the ruler of that time period, with the king who was ruling that, what was the economy of that area, of that place where the king was ruling. So second thing, technology. What type of technology was developed at that time? About date. Like you have seen, if you have a coin, then take it out and you will see that the date is written on it. The year is written on it. Yes, in which they were made. So like that, in earlier coins also there were some dates also written, the name of the king was also written, so that we found out about the kings also who were ruling at that time. Okay, and next is language. Yes, if we have got the coins, there will be written something written in any language. Yes, so we got to know about the language of that time period as well. So coins, on coins we found, I told you right now, gave you one example of Samudragupta, that from the coins we got to know about him, where on coins he was found playing veena. The next is biography. Yes, there are some biographies, there are some person, there are some people about which we come to know by their biographies. What is biography? Biography, it means to write about something, to write something about anyone's life. Okay, if I am writing about your life, it will be your biography. But if you are writing something about yourself, it will be called autobiography. So by biographies or the autobiographies, we come to know about that, about our history. And after that, foreign accounts. Foreign accounts mean the things which were written by foreigners, who invaded in our country, who came here in our country and stayed here for some time or many years, like Hen Sang, Fahian. So from their accounts also we come to know about the history, about the administration of that time period. Now next is army. What was the type of army the king was having at that time? A well established, a well equipped army, a well managed army was established by the king. So there were some soldiers who worked on their foot, and the foot soldiers were called infantry. Cavalry means soldier on horses, and there were some soldiers on elephants and chariot also. Okay, so this type of army was established by the king at that time. And about king's army, one poet named Ban Bhatt, he has written about Samudragupta's army. We will come to know about that. Now you will be thinking this is the army which was ruled by, or which was established by the king. So were they paid something, or they were doing just free of cost? No, they were not given the salaries, regular salaries in cash. They were granted the land. It means they were paid in kind. Kind means granted the lands granted to them. Okay, so from that land only they used to maintain the soldiers and the horses as well. And this we have discussed about the rulers of that time. Now there is a question. Has anyone written about the common people, about the ordinary people of that time? Yes. From Kalidas' plays, we come to know about the life of ordinary people during the rule of different rulers. So we will come to know one by one, everyone. We will start with sources. First of all, we will start with the inscriptions. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all. Write first question in your notebook. Name the most famous ruler of Gupta Empire. Name the most famous ruler of Gupta Empire who was called India's Napoleon. The next is, who was the best or famous ruler of Chalukyas? Next question is, how we come to know, or what are the sources by which we come to know about our history? So these are the three questions. And last one is, what is the type of army which was established by the king? Write about army which was established by the ruler at that time. Write their answers in your class of notebook. If you don't know any of the answer, you can watch this video again. I hope this topic is clear to you all. See you in next video.